How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. It ended up having a pullback inside of the market, just like many other stocks, but we've seen the momentum slow down quite a bit inside of the EV sector. So many are asking me questions. If you're looking at a long-term position in ChargePoint, should I be buying now? So I'm going to be talking about that inside of the video. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $20.69, being down 1.38%. On the low, it tested $20.59, and then on the high, testing $22.13. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 11.084 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 10.565 million shares. So just above the average, but you can see we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure on the day. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 36.07. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we're below the 200-day, the 21-day EMA, the 50-day, and as well as the 100-day. So right away, we can see ChargePoint is in a bear market. So with the downtrend that we have been seeing in ChargePoint, there's a good possibility we could get back down to this $18 level. And this is an area where I wouldn't mind adding to my position. Now, as far as where we're taking a look at for the current price action, we could see as far as for the day, we ended up having some support here right at $20.60. So going into tomorrow, you'd want to see this actually hold up. If it doesn't hold up, then you could potentially see areas around $19.70. So this is an area of support we have seen in the past, but like I said, if the markets are volatile, it could easily break through this. As far as for the bullish case scenario, you'd want to see ChargePoint gain momentum above $22. If it's able to gain momentum above $22, that's where we want to see it reclaim the 100-day around $22.60. And at $22.60, then I'd want to see a crossover above the 50 and seeing if we can go to 23. But these particular areas are going to be psychological areas, so that's one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind. But for the most part, I can see this downtrend continuing for ChargePoint. So if you want to get in as far as an investment is concerned, then I would continue to be patient. So let's see how ChargePoint performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for ChargePoint. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 57.80%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 5.95 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 7.4 million, updated 13 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 1.32%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 7th, it was at 52.09, and then for the close of the 8th, which was yesterday, being at 57.80. So we are seeing an increase. So what this tells us, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential, but there's also a lot of shorts who are vested in this play, and it's going to contribute to the volatility, and it's part of the reasons why it's been on quite the downtrend. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we can see here on the inflow is at 28.69, and then on the outflow it was at 36.09. So we ended up having an outflow day. When we take a look at the breakdown even further, it was 0 on the large, On the medium, it was 14.89. Then on the small, it was 13.80. And then when we take a look at the outflow side, on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 20.54. And then on the small, it was 15.55. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, it was 0. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, which represents the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had a lot more selling than we had buying as well. So one thing that it was very clear, there was a lot of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.44%. This is not too bad for a stock like ChargePoint. It is a growth stock. There's a lot of volatility, and it has been on quite the sell-off since releasing earnings. So keeping this in mind, as far as for a long-term investor, you want to exercise some patience. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts. So you know what? Let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, in regards to the price action, you're going to want to see a bullish reversal going to the $23 range. If we're able to do this, this is where I could see an uptrend. But from how it's looking like to me, I see it's looking fairly bearish, and there's a possibility we can get back down to the $18 range. I like adding to my position when it comes to ChargePoint when it is below $20. I haven't done so as of yet, but if it comes back down to 18, I'll be looking to add to my position. So this stock could potentially even go lower than 18, could even go lower than 17, and I'll be making sure to keep some cash on the side so I could scoop up some shares for cheap. I believe in the long-term prospects of the EV sector as a whole, and that's part of the reasons why I don't mind adding shares to ChargePoint, and even if I'm down, I'll just keep accumulating. And also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. There's many shorts who are vested in this play. So what that tells me, they see a lot more downside inside of this stock, and this is why I'm going to be prepared, and I'm going to stay patient to make sure I can get some cheap shares. So for anyone that's looking to actually start a position, I wouldn't be paying at the current prices of $20 knowing that you can get in at a better price. I'm not the type of person or YouTuber that's going to tell you, well, you need to buy now, it's pulling back. No. Wait, get the price that you're really looking for, and then make sure as far as when you do add to your position, you don't go all in at once. It gives you the opportunity where you could take advantage of further dips if it presents itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how ChargePoint performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.